guys want a Lexus update?
Now first off, let's get this one out of the way. I'm sorry for not updating you guys more on the Lexus. I know I suck. Life's been busy. Usually when things are good on a car, I'm not wanting to update a lot. I'm usually just wanting to enjoy my car. So let me catch you up. So we manual swapped it, obviously. That all went really well. Took about 2 months. I am going to do an update that shows the total because I know I like to concentrate on price on a lot of things. And I know you guys are looking for that too. So we'll get there. So I was wanting to hit the drift track straight away. So we did extended upper control arms, 0 camber adjustments, get that maximum tire wear. Went straight to easy knuckle V2s and 1-inch spacers. So went straight to the angle mods. Now before you freak out on the cutting of the tunnel and everything, I went ahead and buttoned everything up so it doesn't look this way now. Those blow-off valve sounds. Oh my god. Oh my. Woo! So with the spacers and angle, obviously you can't have stock fenders anymore. So I got to hack in, did some cheap plastic wheel flares. They're functional more than looks. And then with 3 miles on the clock, I hit my first drift comp with it. So this was the max angle I was getting for that first drift comp. V2s should have more. I would say that's like 55 degrees. So my tires were hitting my caster rods. So I got the good old Godspeed caster rods and I got a lot more angle out of it. I was super happy. The thing was drifting phenomenal after that. I added probably 1 inch of caster, which is always good. That gives self-steer.
And we're off!
Yeah, buddy. Starting to get some smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you have any kind of a weak stomach when it comes to RPM flash and toasted clutch, I suggest you look away for this launcher. So without further ado, here's me rolling up for my first pass on the baby 225 slicks. I tried to run the bigger ones to improve my gearing situation, but did not fit. So popped her in second, did a short little burnout. Alright, so let's go over that first pass now with the RPM flash up and terrible launch. So we've got launch control rev limiter here, 3500, a good place to launch at. It's doing spark cut, so ignore air fuel. So then note we have vehicle speed sensor. This is rear wheels. So there's our RPM flash up. We started engaging clutch at 6700. But I would also like to point out, watch TPS here. This is me pedaling the crap out of it once it started. So it spun just right away and gave a little bit of wheel hop too. I need to do better bushings in the subframe, so I'm going to be getting to that too. But yeah, pedal immediately, 25% throttle, and I thought it would just kind of roll out, and it's still just hanging and spinning, so I pedal a lot and let her chill all the way out, and then things settle, get back into it, roll out for first gear. So of course we got this super rich tip in. I got my tip in pretty aggressive since it's a drift car, so it's gonna show super rich whenever you tip in, tip it into the gas. So do note I'm running boost by gear and it's air correction. So I'm doing PID tables, so you can see boost target here with each gear. So you want to try and see actual boost, kind of follow that closely. This was the SXE 366, so it's a bit laggy and it was a bit more turbo than what my clutch could handle, which we'll definitely get to later. So this was just pump gas and water meth. Like 50-50 water and methanol and regular 92 octane. So my air fuel ratio, the actual is about a half a point richer. So subtract half a point from this, it's not actually that lean. So that's going to be more 11.6 verified when I dynoed it. So yeah, rolling through first sec. This was a 1, 2, 3, 4 pass. I didn't grab fifth. And then you can now keep in mind this car normally doesn't hook like third and fourth. I just let her eat. I just let it spin. It's fun. So I did not have boost by gear tuned in fourth gear at all. It would even spin fourth gear on the street. So that whoop-de-doo and the boost, that's just tuning required once your car hooks up, your boost curve's totally different, because when the engine unloads, you actually have to give boost will fall off because it's not loaded on the engine. So, but yeah, not much more you can say on that. I hit rev limiter, which was 7300 in fourth. So there's that.
So first off, I know my lack of having a shift boot triggers a lot of you guys. Don't worry, I'll do one. It's the smallest little detail. Like, I'm trying to get the car working well first. So, my launch technique needed work this go around. This car's different than what I'm used to. I'm used to my Mitsubishi, which has a clutch switch, so the tune and the ECU knows when the clutch is depressed. It's the cruise cancel switch, so they're like right there would turn the switch on. And so anytime the clutch is in, I would have a rev limiter, and it would either be for no lift to shift when I'm at speed, or when it's 0 miles an hour, it would be my launch control. So it would do it by itself, and I would use the e-brake to kind of bump into the lights to make sure that I wouldn't roll back out of the lights. So the way this car was, I wasn't prepared for it. I should have practiced, but it's a lot different. What it is the launch control is set with the e-brake light, so I have to have the e-brake on to have my launch RPM. And so basically I would have the e-brake up and I would be bumping into the beams. But then what was going on, what I'm used to is when the lights start going down, I would dump e-brake and then start slipping the clutch out and start launching is what I'm used to. When I was doing that with this car, the second I would drop the e-brake, the RPMs would flash up because my launch control went away. So it took me a couple launches to, I had to butch it a couple times.
So I was kind of caught off guard with that first launch, and then I didn't expect to run out of fourth gear so freaking fast. I thought I might be able to roll the beams, so this time I planned on grabbing fifth and running it out as best I could. You guys see how I did my burnout as soon as possible and as soon as the guy told me to? Well, I made the big mistake. Look, if the guy you're racing, in this case my dad, look if they do across the line John Force burnouts, and if they do, let them do theirs first, else you're going to sit there forever and get bored. I also did a little refining with the tune, of course. I bumped it up just like a pound or two. Second pass, the launch was a bit better. It still wasn't good. What we did there, I did the launch control correctly. We started slipping clutch and launched at launch RPM the way you're supposed to. Now what I did run into, I have AFR system protection. So if air fuel ratio is too far off of target for like, I think it's a tenth of a second, it will shut my car down. Now I have it to ignore after spark cut, but it's not set long enough. So what happened was it started rolling out pretty good, and then it pretty much fell on its face like right away. So see how we're still 100% TPS? RPM is dropping. That's the white line right here. We're dropping RPM. The thing started falling on its face. Now I have it set pretty smart to where all I have to do is lift off the gas and that protection goes away, and that's just for me to say, okay, I see you. It also does boost over protection. It's good to have these things on your engine. So that's just, I need to get my tune more in line right after launch. So that's just more tuning required. It is what it is. So pedal, and do note also, look at our speed. It immediately drops when I get out of it. So it's starting to spin anyways. So crappy launch from a drift car. What can you say? So we started rolling into it, and it was 3,200 when I started rolling into it, so it was kind of lagging out. Crappy launch. I think it was like a 1.9 60 foot. Not great for this car. It should be doing much better, especially with these short ass gears. So rolling through each gear, and so one thing, you might have heard it in the video. If you're an experienced racer, you would see it. Look at when I hit fifth gear. And do note, yeah, boost is falling down. More PID tuning is what's required there. It's doing like a slight overshoot, and then kind of falling down to target, going past and falling a little further. So just got to get that thing right in line where it holds target. So we hit fifth gear. Watch RPM. It kind of came up and then it just hangs, but speed is still going up. In a stick car, if you ever see RPM not doing what speed is in the gear you're in, that is a clutch holding issue. So we're starting to drive through our clutch. 15 psi on this turbo. I don't know. I would call that just over 500 wheel, probably 525. This clutch is kind of coming around still. It had a rough first bit of its life. So what I ended up doing, I went back to the smaller turbo after this, because once I had this 366 on here with the lag that it is, I said, you know what, if I can only run 15 pounds and that's all my clutch is going to handle, this is stupid anyways. Let's go back down to the smaller turbo. So, but anyways, that's my second pass.